everybody, and welcome in to Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trag. I'm your host, Trag. It is Friday, June 14th, a fantastic Friday here in the great state of Wisconsin. They're talking great weather for today. I got a big old baseball tournament coming up this weekend. My 9 new boys will be traveling for a baseball tournament coming up this weekend. So, they're talking good weather today at least. So for tonight's game will be fantastic. But outside of that, it's looking like the weekend, they may get a little bit of rain. So hopefully, just hopefully, we will get this tournament in and everything will be great there. Heading down to Milwaukee too on Saturday there to check out a Brewer game. So can't wait for that little Sal Frelick bobblehead day. Nothing better than that, right? Nothing better than getting a bobblehead and going down to American Family Field there. So, with that, lots to get into today. Lots to get into. Brewers, off day yesterday. They're back in action tonight here. So, we're going to be talking about that game. We're going to be looking at the Brewers in total. I got lots to get into today. So, right away, I didn't get into it yesterday, but there was a fan that was tased on the field. And not at a Brewer game. No, not at a Brewer game. Before we get there, it was at the Reds game. That's where it was. At the Reds game, fan jumps onto the field. You know, we've had a lot of those doorknobs that love to do that there, get chased around by security guards, everything like that, get tackled, right? Well, this security guard, police officer, whatever you want to call him there, I don't know exactly who it was, just, one of the personnel inside of the stadium there. I don't know if he was having a bad day or if he was just like, I'm done with this. I'm not dealing with this because guy did a backflip. He landed it, but then he was tased. And went straight to the ground and they got him off the field then. And I guess, the big talk was it necessary? This guy just got tased. Like, it's a lot of volts going through you all at once. Mr. Electrician over here telling you all about voltage and everything. Like, that's a lot of volts going through a guy's body there when they get tased. And man, oh man, this guy took it and ended up at his court. I saw he was at his court hearing the next day. He was still wearing his Reds jersey. So hats off to him. Hats off. Still repping his team well there. But was it too much? You want to say yes. You want to say, yeah, maybe he could have just tackled the guy, blah, blah. But at the same time, it's like everybody this is in society too. Everybody knows there's rules, right? There's rules. As much as people don't want to follow rules, there's rules. No matter if you're driving a car or you go shopping or go to a sporting event. There are rules, right? You can only take in a certain type of bag. You can't take in any drinks from the parking lot there. You can't do this. You can't do that. You can't go in here. You can't go in there. You have a certain place you can go. You can't sit in a random seat. Well, a rule that I am pretty sure is pretty straightforward is that when the game is being played, and I guess at any other time, not just when the game's being played, you aren't allowed to enter the field of play. Let's go with that. So when you do, against the rules, I guess you face the consequences, right? Maybe this Reds guy was like, you know what? If I tase this guy, there's a good chance that we won't see, another guy try it because they know, hey, this guy's sitting down here. He's locked and loaded and he's ready to tase a guy. Like, I ain't jumping on that field. I don't know if, I guess it's to everyone's discretion. If it was too far, if it wasn't far enough, right? But to me, you know what? Karma's a son of a gun. You don't follow the rules, bad things happen. This guy didn't follow the rules. Bad things happen, right? Ended up getting tased. That's, as plain and simple as I could put it is, this guy, he faced the repercussions of not following the rules. And, at the end of the day, you could be upset at it. You could say that it was too far. You could say that guy didn't deserve it. But you know what? You rob a bank and you're trying to get away. There's a good chance you might get tased. You try to, go after somebody. There's a good chance something happens back to you. Same thing here. Guy broke the rule. He got tased. Move on. I thought, I've never seen that before. it was quite something. Usually, you watch him chase the guy around for a little bit, tackle him, he ends up on the ground. Bygones be bygones. Guy ends up, maybe having public or some community service, whatever it is, blah blah. Whatever it is. But in this case, he got tased, he got thrown in the back of the squad car, and taken for his court hearing the next day. So I just thought that was quite humorous. Quite humorous there coming out of there. And I mean, it's like I can't even be upset that this is what happened to the dude. Like, end of the day, you deserved it. You deserved a good shot. You're lucky that it was a taser, right? You're lucky that it was a taser. You're lucky this guy just didn't come in there fist a swinging, right? So, I mean, that was my interesting tidbit to start the day here. But I have a little bit more Packers. We talked Packers yesterday. I got a little more Packers news today. The Packers did end up finishing their contract up with tackle Jordan Morgan there. So Morgan has been so far in training camp for the Packers. He's been actually being cross-trained. So he's actually been working at 4 different positions along the offensive line. Likely, we're probably going to see more of a left tackle, right guard kind of position for him, but he's been working. He's trying to become versatile. And I think that's great. If the Packers can, find some guys who are going to be versatile for him on this offensive line, that's huge. That's huge. You can interchange guys. If something ain't working, you might be able to mix guys through and through. Injuries happen. You might be able to move a guy over to slide a guy into their regular position, So I love that they're doing this. I love that they're trying to see if he has potential at every spot, because to work him out at every spot, to get him used to playing multiple different positions, because, at the end of the day, you could have a rotation of 6 guys, right? And you're rotating, you have 5 offensive linemen, but you're rotating in another guy in that hole there, and you might find 5 that work, and maybe his calling is right guard. You solidify their right guard spot, whatever it is. There's a lot of different, possibilities with it then. So I love having offensive linemen who are versatile. Guys you can move around. They can play guard. It's a rare breed that can play guard and tackle and do it efficiently at both spots. So it's great. It's great if he does have that ability. They're seeing the skill out of him there to be able to do something like that. Hopefully we see it on the football field coming up here this next season. But it looks like that contract for him is going to be about 4 years, $14,185,596 there, 100% guaranteed money for Jordan Morgan there. So, I mean, guy got paid, first rounder, getting paid out of it, get 4 years. He's got a little bit of control. The Packers do a little bit of control over him. Also, he's got some, a solid future, right? Now, if year 1 doesn't work out, it's not like they can just say, okay, we're going to dump you off now. No, they have the time, or they have the time and, pieces to be able to slowly work him in if it isn't this instant fit right away there for him. So good stuff coming out of the Packers on that one, getting their last of their rookies signed to a contract. Other Packer news, I did see the Packers are looking at another kicker. It looks like they're looking at Jake Bates. He played for Michigan there in the USFL. It's a United Football League now, but he played with Michigan in the USFL portion of it because he was in that USFL championship game there. They did end up losing that championship game, but he was a star for that team. He had multiple different 60-yard field goals for him along that run. Also a game winner at 64 yards out. 64 yards. This is a guy who can hit consistently from 60. He's got a big leg on him. He's got, the poise, the confidence, everything like that. Add another kicker to that room. We talked about it there yesterday. Maybe you're not sure on Anders Carlson or a couple of these other guys. Bring them in. Test them out. Maybe he is that missing cog, right? You're looking for a kicker with a big leg, guys who can hit consistently outside of 50. Well, he's hitting from 60 plus. This guy has got a huge leg. I would love to see the Packers scoop him up. I would not, to be honest, I would not mess around with if Anders Carlson cannot get consistent, if he does not get this consistency, I'm not messing around with it. I'm not. I am taking my shot. If Jake Bates is the guy and you believe that this guy has a ton of potential to be a very good kicker in the NFL, sign him up. sign him up. Don't waste time trying to see if Anders Carlson can be the guy. Bite the bullet. You drafted him. Get over it. Move on. Now you add in a guy like this. And a guy with a boatload of potential. I would not be upset whatsoever. I would not be upset. I mean, what if you are right now a kicker away? Honestly, what if you are right now a kicker away from being a Super Bowl contending team? A kicker, as much as people want to make fun of kickers, a kicker is instrumental to your team. Kickoffs. I mean, you look at Anders Carlson last year, he was short of the goal line, right? And now you look at, right last year, looking at his field goals and everything like that. Struggled majorly. And in the playoff game, might have cost you a trip to the NFC Championship game. So you have to move swiftly on a guy like this, because if you don't get him, somebody else is going to be looking that way. It's looking at his statistics, looking at his leg, everything like that. This guy has got a leg on him. There's going to be a lot of teams who are going to be interested. I really want to see the Packers maybe jump on a guy like this. So that's just the interesting tidbit that I seen was the Packers thinking about kind of, they want to visit with him. They're thinking about expanding out that kicker room. So interesting stuff there out of the Green Bay Packers there. But, moving off the Packers just a little bit, sticking in the NFL, though, we did see yesterday Kirk Cousins and the Atlanta Falcons in a little bit of hot water right now. It looks like, according to reports, the NFL is docking the Falcons a 2025 fifth-round pick for violating the league's anti-tampering policy with Kirk Cousins, Darnell Mooney, and Charlie Warner. The team is also being fined $250,000, and GM Terry Fournette is being fined $50,000. The violations are considered logistical administrative, such as making travel arrangements after players agreed to terms, and did not involve contact prior to negotiating window. That's funny. Falcons, they get their guy and everything else, and now it's like, oh, you're being fined. Nice work. And it's a written rule. Like, if you're a Falcons fan out there and you're a little upset with this, hey, I get it. But at the same time, this is what you get, and there's nothing really to be upset about. You're being fined $250,000, and your GM is being fined $50,000. Outside of that, you lost a 2025 fifth-round pick. Like, I know picks are big. I'm not saying that a 2025 fifth-round pick isn't something to bat your eye at. Like, you can find some good pieces in the fifth round, but end of the day, could have been a lot worse. Could have been a lot worse of a rule, and to see it just end up being basically you lost a 2025 first-round pick, and, your team's got to pay money. Whatever. You move on, right? You move on with life. That's like least worst case scenario to come out of a illegal situation, right? And the Falcons move on from it. Nothing really comes of it. No like suspensions, nothing like that. So, end of the day, just another tidbit and money. Money being spent out by the Falcons there to cover that fine. But, staying with football there, I wanted to get to the last little tidbit of football that I had there. And that was, we did see the Badgers pull a massive recruit there in their recruiting class there, Badger football. It looks like they did land Mason Posa. And if you're not familiar, maybe some people out there have heard of him, but if you have not heard about Mason Posa yet, he is their highest rated recruit of the year so far. He is a 4-star linebacker out of New Mexico. Chose Wisconsin over Oregon and Texas A&M there. Luke Fickell, he made him a top priority there, and he's the number 18 ranked linebacker in the country. Badgers had him earlier this month, and, they've been working hard to get him in there. Posa loved what he saw. He's going to join up the 2025 class there. They have 3 linebackers in there, Cooper Caliano, and they also have Brendan Ains and Samuel Latuc in there too. So now you add this 4-star recruit in there, highest rated member of that 2025 class. The linebacker room is getting filled up for the Badgers in that 2025 recruiting class. So that's great stuff. That's great to see there for the Badgers getting a guy like that into town there. Good work by Luke Fickell and company bringing him in. So, I mean, that's about all I got for football talk. I want to get to the NBA Finals now. And, I mean, is there really anything to talk about in the NBA Finals other than it has been, I mean, just a disaster? It has just been a major disaster all the way around if you're a Mavs fan right now, it has been atrocious to watch there. I mean, you look at this last game, 106-99 was the final. Luka Doncic, he fouls out late in this one for the Mavs, and he struggles in total. He's been struggling mightily. 27 points, 11 for 27 from the field, 1 for 7 from downtown in that game, 38 minutes. He fouled out late, like I said. But, I mean, he gets all up on the refs. And when you watch this guy defend, it is just, I mean, terrible. It is terrible to watch him try and play defense. Honestly, he is a liability for the Dallas Mavericks to have him out there on defense, because he can't defend anybody. I mean, you look at the Celtics, for example, and you're running out guys like Drew Holiday, Jason Tatum, you have Jaylen Brown, and you also have Derek White out there on the court all at one time. How are you supposed to defend that with a lineup that has Luka Doncic in it? A guy who, over the last 10 seasons, and just in this playoffs, has given up the most blow-bys over the last 10 seasons of the NBA. Like, it is just ridiculous. Watching this guy, he can't check anybody. He couldn't check anybody. I don't think he can check me sitting in this chair right now talking to you guys. It has just been, I mean, we talk about bad defense in the NBA, and I'm a firm believer sometimes that there is bad defense in the NBA. This is atrocious defense. This isn't even defense. This isn't even getting in the way of a guy. This is just guys going right past you and then relying on your teammates to try and pick up the slack for you. This is just terrible. This is terrible. And, I mean, you look at this last game out for the Mavs there. Kyrie Irving played well. 35 points in that one. P.J. Washington with 13. Derek Jones Jr. ended up with 2. Gafford had 6. Lively had 11. But, I mean, you look at the rest of this, and if Luka's cold, this Mavericks team ain't going to go. Like, Kyrie can get it going. He did in game 3 there. Like, I'm not going to say that he didn't get going whatsoever. But, man, oh, man, it has just been terrible. Terrible basketball all the way around. And, I mean, in all reality, you look at this series here, and I'm looking at these two teams, and I'm like, there's no way the Dallas Mavericks should even be in this. They shouldn't even be in this game. They shouldn't even be in the NBA Finals with a team like the Celtics. The Celtics are loaded. What Brad Stevens and the Celtics team has done to put together this roster has been nothing but, I mean, greatness, right? You have guys like Drew Holiday and Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, and then you add in Porzingis along with that, who is playing fantastic in Boston. And then you get the likes of the help that you have there with Al Horford and Pritchard coming off the bench and Sam Hauser and Xavier Tillman coming off the bench. And, I mean, you got depth, you got pieces, you have talent all the way up and down this roster. Like, the Celtics are definitely, if you had to think of a David and Goliath in, basketball in the NBA Finals, this is it. This is it right here. You know, you're talking about a team in the Mavs who are relying on 2 guys to try and carry them, Kyrie and Luka, and everybody else to kind of fill in there. They have good rim protectors. They have good centers. Gafford and Lively, both very good, right? They're good centers. It's not like they're terrible, but they aren't offensive threats. They aren't guys who are going to ring it up for you. Lively played well, 11 points in game 3, but they aren't guys who are going to be over the top kind of guys who are going to get you buckets like Joel Embiid or Jokic, right? They're not those kinds of big guys. So you're heavily reliant on, Kyrie and Luka to get it done. And when they can't, you struggle. And that leads to problems. You look at the Celtics, the way that they're built. Jason Tatum, you look at him over this series, you look at him over the playoffs here, 31 points in game 3. Outside of that, he's had some games where he doesn't really score. Yet the Celtics win. Why is that? The way that they're constructed, they have so many pieces that they can interchange and that they can, one guy can be off, but they have 3 other guys who are going to figure it out, or 2 other guys who are going to figure it out. They have a lot of star power. A lot of star power. We know it. As Bucks fans, we know it. Jrue Holiday, very good player. Very good player. Jrue Holiday. And to see him with the Celtics now, what he's doing with the Celtics, this guy's scoring a boatload of points from in the paint. Bully ball down there in the paint. We remember that. Jrue Holiday is that guy. He has really taken the Celtics team to another level. So has Kristaps Porzingis. And then you have guys like Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown who have been stars for years. Now they're slowly starting to become that formidable force that you don't want to see. And that's what the gauntlet of a team that the Mavs have ran into, and it's showed. It has really showed. It doesn't matter. We watched the Mavs jump out to a huge lead in Game 3, a huge lead. And to see it just basically blow up in their face as fast as it did, that just tells you everything that you need to know about this series, about these two teams. That, end of the day, the Celtics have the better roster. The Celtics have the ability that if they get into a slugfest, they will 9 times out of 10 probably win that slugfest. And, that's basically my biggest takeaways right now from the NBA Finals, is that the Celtics are basically utterly overmatching what we're seeing out of the Dallas Mavericks. They just don't have an answer for what we're seeing right now. So with that, that's about all I got NBA, NFL wise. I want to get to some ads of the show, some sponsors of the show here quick before we move on. First, Game Day Supply in Alaska. Do you have a sports club or team? Are you looking for some sweet custom uniforms or apparel? Check out the awesome crew at Game Day Supply in Alaska to help your team get the sweetest gear. Find them on Facebook at Game Day Supply or online at GameDaySupply.net. Also, Sport and Spine Clinic in Greenwood, Wisconsin. If you've been injured recently, whether at work, whether it was on the baseball field, softball field, pushing the lawnmower, whatever it was, and you need some physical therapy, stop in there and see Chad at Sport and Spine Clinic in Greenwood, Wisconsin. He will get you right. He'll get you back to mowing, back down the field, back to work, whatever it is. He'll get you back there feeling better than ever. Sport and Spine Clinic in Greenwood, Wisconsin. Sports Scene, sports cards and memorabilia. Located in the Marshfield Mall in Marshfield, Wisconsin. You got to get down there and see Al. He has everything you need, from sporting cards, memorabilia, jerseys, model stock cars. He's got it all. Sports Scene in Marshfield, Wisconsin. Marshfield Motor Speedways, located just 3 miles outside of Marshfield on County Road H. You got to get down there this summer here. Tons of family fun for all ages. Great food, great drinks, great atmosphere. Nothing better. Marshfield Motor Speedways in Marshfield, Wisconsin. Pittsville Farm and Home Center. At the store, they serve you anything from hydraulic hoses to red roses. Stop in and see the awesome crew at Pittsville Farm and Home Center in Pittsville, Wisconsin. And also your hometown team, Century 21 Gold Key Realty. Call Peggy Sue or Anna to find your dream home, or if you're looking to sell. Find them on Facebook at your hometown team, Century 21 Gold Key Realty, or stop in and see them at their location in Marshfield there. But with that, I want to look at the MLB. I want to get into the MLB here. I want to look at the Brewers' upcoming series here with the Cincinnati Reds, and then kind of just look around the league, see what we're saying, and potentially look at some Brewer trades. Teams that they could trade with, players that I could see the Brewers trading for, everything like that there. So, first up, Brewers will have a matchup coming up tonight here. That'll be Freddie Peralta taking on Hunter Green for the Reds. There, Hunter Green 4-2 with a 3.61 ERA right now. Freddie Peralta coming in 4-3 with a 3.95 ERA. Has been struggling a little bit as of late, as we've seen out of Freddie. Lots of pitches to get to, limited innings there. Hunter Green, looking at his last 3 games, he had 6 2/3 against the Cubs, 5 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts. Cubs before that, he had 5 earned runs against them in 6 innings, 3 hits, 5 walks, and 5 strikeouts. Game before that there, he had the Dodgers, 6 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, and 5 strikeouts against the Dodgers. So Green has been pitching well for this Reds team. And like I said, Freddie Peralta has struggled a little bit as of late here. 3 1/3 against the Tigers there, 4 hits and 3 earned runs. Against the White Sox, 5 innings, 4 hits and 3 earned runs. And then looking at the Chicago Cubs, he had 5 2/3, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 11 strikeouts. Last 2 have been a struggle for Freddie getting through. I mean, this is a guy we need to go 6. We got to see him go 6. He's been struggling to get through 5 right now. Hopefully, this game against the Reds, he gets himself right, and we see the fastball Freddie that we all remember there. Brewers hitting against Green. Churro and his 2 RBIs and 1 at bat. He's got 1,000 batting average against him there. Perkins, he's got 1 home run and 2 at bats, 500 average. Yelich, he has the most experience outside of Adames against him there, 12 at bats. In 12 bats, he's got 2 home runs and 4 RBIs, a 250 average. Adames in 12 at bats, 2 home runs and 3 RBIs against him there with a 250 average. So the Brewers, a little bit of familiarity between them. That's a big word. That was a big word. That was a struggle word for a Friday, folks. That was a struggle word to try and push it out. But Brewers will look to start the series off hot against the Reds there, coming up back home there from American Family Field. On Saturday, a 3:10 start for that one, we will see Abbott taking on Bryce Wilson for the Brewers. Abbott coming into this one 5-5 with a 3.29 ERA for Abbott. He's helped this Reds team dig themselves out of the cellar a little bit over his last couple outings against the Cubs. He had 5 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run. Against Colorado Rockies, 6 innings, 7 hits, and 3 earned runs. Game before that against St. Louis, 6 innings, 7 hits, and 6 earned runs. So a little bit better in his last outing. Before that, though, he had some struggle against a couple of foes there for Abbott. Bryce Wilson, 3-3 with a 4.19 ERA heading into Saturday's game there. And then flips to the Sunday matchup. Hopefully, we're talking about a Brewers going for a sweep on Sunday. That's a 1:10 start for that one. Colin Ray taking on Frankie Montas for the Cincinnati Reds. Frankie on the year, he is right now 3-5 with a 4.55 ERA overall in 12 games pitched. Over his last couple games against Chicago, he went an inning and a third, 5 hits, 4 earned runs, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts. Colorado, 7 innings before that, though. He had 1 hit given up and 0 earned runs. And then St. Louis game before that, 6 innings, 6 hits, and 3 earned runs for Frankie there. So Frankie, he's been up or down. I mean, he has definitely been up or down. So it's going to be interesting to see the Brewers, the Brewers in this series against the Reds with a couple of pitchers who have pitched a little bit better as of late, but have struggled as a whole this year. Seeing how the Brewers will offensively get after them in this series here. Reds, I mean, coming into this series, the NL Central is basically just cobbled up mess right now, if you really look at it. Brewers sitting up top, they're 6.5 up right now on the Cardinals. They're 40-28 right now. Cardinals 33-34, Reds 33-35, Cubs 33-36, and the Pirates 32-36 on the year. I mean, all in all, the NL Central is a gauntlet right now, is a gauntlet of teams who are just sitting right on top of each other all across the board. Brewers, outside of the Reds, only one with a plus run differential, plus 61 runs right now for the Brewers. 10-13 against teams above 500, though. That's where, I mean, you really got to look at it. They have struggled against some of these teams out, some of the better ball clubs out there right now. But all in all, Brewers 6.5 game lead in the NL Central. Looking over at the NL East right now, Phillies with a commanding 9-game lead over the Braves. They're 46-22 on the year right now. The Braves 36-30. Washington Nationals 32-36. Mets 30-37. And the Miami Marlins at 23-45 right now. Phillies have been playing. We saw them, and we saw this Phillies team. They are playing fantastic this year. Can't deny what they've been doing so far. I mean, one of the best team in baseball to me. I have picked them as the best team in baseball, and I will hold true to that.
I tell you what, though, I don't know if you guys are hearing that in the background right now, but I got to get some WD-40 for my chair. I got to get some I got squeak galore going on back here. It's absolutely annoying. I'm sorry, but I always adjust myself all the time, sit back, sit up, whatever it is, turn, whatever. And man, oh man, it's getting annoying. So I'm just going to sit in one position, hopefully, and just, ride this thing out, right? Outside of the NL East, looking at the NL West right now, we see the Dodgers up top, 42-27, followed by the Padres at 37-35, San Francisco Giants 34-35, Arizona Diamondbacks 32-36, and the Rockies coming in at 24-44 right now. The Dodgers lead the Padres by 6.5 games right now. The Giants by 8. I mean, you look at this NL as a whole right now. Your number one team, and this is my number one team in my NL power rankings. I'm going to do the power rankings, each division right now. My NL power ranking leader right now is definitely the Phillies. I mean, the Phillies, they're 6-4 over their last 10. They have lost 2 in a row, but I mean, man, oh man, this Phillies team has been nothing but ridiculous, plus 103 run differential and an 8-4 record against teams above 500. They've played fantastic all the way around. They got pitching, they got bullpen, they have, position-wise, they have great players, all the star power all the way around. This is a fantastic Phillies team. Followed by, I think I would throw in next the Dodgers. I think the Dodgers would be my next vote. 42-27. They're going to be my number 2 spot right now. Followed by the Brewers. I mean, you cannot take the Brewers out of right now 40-28, third best record in the National League. That is your number 3 in the power rankings right now, all the division leaders. Follow that up. I'm going to have to go with the San Diego Padres. Right now, 37-35 overall. A little bit worse in the loss department than the Atlanta Braves, but 5-5 over their last 10 games, won 3 in a row now. I got to take the Padres there, followed by the Braves then. I'm going to take the Braves in that next spot. They're 36-30 right now. Been playing some better baseball as of late here. Next up, I'm putting the Cincinnati Reds right now. 33-35, 7 games back of first place in the NL Central, but they've won 8 of their last 10 games right now, and they're also in the plus run differential right now, plus 15 in run differential overall right now. Next up, I'm going to have to probably, I think I'm going to lean towards, I would say I'm going to lean into the San Francisco Giants. They're 5-5 in the last 10, 8 games back, but 34-35. Then I have the Cardinals coming in my next spot. Follow that up with it's a toss-up. We'll go with the Cubs in there then. Then the Arizona Diamondbacks, followed by, I would say, the Nationals. No, give me the Pirates. Give me the Pirates, then the Nationals. Then we're looking down at the bottom of the barrel here. We have the Mets, followed by the Colorado Rockies, and then the Miami Marlins to wrap it up there. American League, Yankees, Baltimore, that hasn't changed yet. Boston sitting 13 back, Toronto in there, and then Tampa Bay. Cleveland, Kansas City, then the Twins, then Detroit, and then the White Sox. And then in the West Division, or in that West Division right now, we see the Mariners up top, followed by the Texas Rangers, Houston Astros, and then we see the Angels and the Oakland A's have fallen to the bottom of the division now. They were up near the top. Now they've slowly dropped down near the bottom. AL power rankings. I mean, you can't really talk about it without putting the Yankees up top. I'm putting the Yankees on top. I'm following that with Baltimore. Then I'm looking at the Cleveland Guardians. Then I'm going to float towards the Seattle Mariners, followed by Kansas City Royals. Then we're probably going to lean towards the Minnesota Twins in that next spot there, followed by Boston. And then I'm looking down the board here, and I'm saying the Texas Rangers are screaming at me right now, followed by Toronto Blue Jays and the Rays. Then I'm going to put Houston, and then we see the Tigers in there, followed by the Angels and the Oakland A's. And last but not least, we see the Southsiders. The Southsiders from Chicago. We're going to see the Chicago White Sox. That is a bad division right now. That is a all-around rough division in total. And, I mean, oh, man. Just the fact of hearing about the White Sox, watching some of their games. I mean, man, oh man, is it just? It makes you like feel bad for the South Side of Chicago fans. I don't feel bad for the North Side. When they lose, it's fun. But I mean, I'm looking at these White Sox, and it's like, man, you are just about on the level of the Marlins right now. And the Marlins are terrible. Marlins are bad. And you're just about on that level right now. If not, you already are. No, they're on that layer. They're worse. 17-52, 23-45. 17-52. They're 27 and a half games back. They might be mathematically already eliminated from the playoffs here about halfway through. They might be. At the trade deadline, they might be mathematically eliminated from the playoffs. I could really see it happening. That is just, man, just ridiculous there. But, I mean, with that, I wanted to get to Brewers trade potential, partners, everything like that. I'm not going to get today. I'm thinking possibly about doing a special where just talking about the trades and everything like that. If I don't get to it this weekend here because of the busy schedule, I will get to it this next week, potentially doing something like that, just talking about trades, potential scenarios, everything like that with the Brewers. If I don't get to it this weekend, doing a special episode, I will definitely lean towards next week there talking about it there. But with that, let's end it here. Well, we saw Edmonton lose again. We saw the Edmonton Oilers lose again in the NHL Finals. They lost to Florida. Once again, they go down 3-0. They need that lady to show back up and show off the hoo-has, right? Show off the hoo-has, and maybe they'll win another game. I don't know. Like, that's how they won it the last time. She might be their good luck charm. I don't know. But, I mean, with that, I want to give some fun facts about Wisconsin. Some fun facts that you might not have known. Just to end it here on a Friday. It's a Friday. It's a fact day here in the great state of Wisconsin. Did you know nearly 21 million gallons of ice cream is consumed by Wisconsinites each year? 21 million gallons of ice cream. Holy crapola. That's a lot of ice cream. I tell you what, I see my grandpa put down a lot of ice cream. He might be about 1 million gallons of that entire thing. I've seen this guy. This guy puts down ice cream bar after ice cream bar. It's ridiculous. I don't even know how he does it. It's like it could be frigid cold outside. Like he could come in from doing chores, barn chores, everything like that. He could come in and this guy could sit there and it could be like negative 20 degrees outside. He might just have a toffee bar out of the freezer there. Like that is just built different, right? They were built different back in the day. This guy's built different there. Did you know that Green Bay is also known as the toilet paper capital of the world? I did not know that. That's interesting. I did not know that. Wow. According to Wisconsin Stories, Wisconsin contains more ghosts per square mile than any other state in the nation. Who read this? Like, what? We got more ghosts per square mile than anywhere else in the nation? Are you kidding me? Move down. What about Chicago? Go down there. Go to Illinois, right? Send all these guys down to Illinois. Scare the crap out of them. That was one fact that I don't think I needed to know there. I will definitely not be driving my work van at night. That's all I know. I can't drive very fast in them things. I tell you what, I got it it's like the van is about 9. You can't miss me when I show up. The van's about 9 feet. You need about a 10-foot door to get my van into a garage or anything like that. And I tell you what, it don't get up to speed very fast. So not about chasing ghosts inside my van. That's all I know. But that was an interesting fact. I did not need to know that. I did not need to know that there. Not at all. Did you know the first ever circus in the United States was held in Delvin, Wisconsin? Huh. Interesting. Sheboygan is the bratwurst capital of the world. You're dang right it is. Like, brats are our specialty. Grilling's our thing, dude. We invented sticking the beer. We invented sticking the brat in beer to soak before we put it on the grill. Like, that's just how we do it.
in the state of Wisconsin. That's just how it's done there. The deer one, more than 800,000 deer roam Wisconsin woods. Not my woods, I can tell you that much. Almost a third of all Americans live within a 500-mile radius of Wisconsin. Huh. Interesting. Door County has more shoreline than any other county in the United States, over 250 miles. Wow. If all of the hunters on opening day of deer season in Wisconsin were grouped together, they would comprise the 6th largest army in the world. Wowza. Ah, that was a good one. That was a good. I learned something today. I hope you guys learned something today. I was learning things about the state of Wisconsin there. I hope you guys learned things today too. I did not know the toilet paper capital of the world, and I also did not know the ghost per square mile. That is ridiculous. That is a fact and a stat that I did not need to know. I should have proofread these before I should have had somebody proofread these before I looked it up, because man, oh man, that is just whatever. But with that, that's about all I got. Brewers, big weekend series with the Reds coming up. We got the NBA Finals back tonight here. Dallas trying to survive, right? Trying to get it back to Boston for Game 5. We'll see if they have what it takes, if Luka can defend for one game at least. I mean, outside of that, a fantastic weekend. I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. I really do. But with that, this has been Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trag. Thank you guys for listening. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Friday. But until I talk to you guys again on Monday, deuces.
Yeah, oh my Lord, watch me sway. Darkness falls and we all pray, hoping for the light of day. Down to the river I have held the devil's hand, felt the weight of my own sin, burdened by the heart of man. Down to the river, down to the river.